Mr. Toastmaster, members, welcome to this. I'd like for you to take a dollar bill out of your wallet, out of your purse, and take a look at the back of it. On the back of the U.S. dollar bill is the Great Seal of the United States. And it's been the Great Seal since 1776. And underneath it, it has some words. See if you can read that. Novus Ordo Seclorum. Now, some people translate that to be New World Order. It actually translates as a New Order of the Ages. Founding Fathers thought that that was something that differentiated the United States at that moment in its history. It was a new nation, independent of Britain, and that it was going to be something different from all the European examples. But there have been conspiracy theories ever since that day about what it meant. And I was just turning the dial this very week and found somebody talking on 90.1 about how there were these military groups that were organized by the government. They had expendable people who were going to be, lost in suppressing American democracy. And, they're never sure whether or not this group is from the left or the right, and that's very useful for conspiracy theorists. They're not sure whether it's bad or good for them to take over the world order, but there's some bureaucratic group out there that wants to take over the world. In a time of rising nationalism, secularism, and separatism, somehow or another, world government is going to come about. They've never seemed less likely than right now. But I tell you this simply to give you background on the age of conspiracy theories. It's an old American habit, it's an old world habit, and it's been going on a very long time. I'd like to tell you a little bit about a visit, a family visit, and why I bring this up. My sister came to visit with her boyfriend, Bill. On the 4th of July weekend, she called up a day ahead of time. She invited herself, and I was glad to have her visit, and I'm always glad to meet her boyfriends. They've been numerous. And this one, wasn't particularly wealthy. She is unfailingly flattering when she walks around the property and talks about what I've done with it in the last 10 years. She says self-deprecating things, like, you are smarter than me. Mother always said so. And I'm always, what's next? And she says things like that. And she talked politics nonstop, as she always does. And on the last hour of the last day, apropos of nothing, she decided to tell me how bad it was that Laotian students were taught in Laotian for more than a year, and other foreign students taught in their native languages too long. And I said, well, I suppose it's possible. She says, no, it's absolutely true. I was a school teacher. She taught for a year. And I know. And to cap off her argument, if she hadn't driven enough nails into my coffin, she said, and it's all part of a left-wing conspiracy. I did something that I haven't done in 50 years. I told her to shut up. I may not get the opportunity to tell her again for a long time because she's not speaking to me. It's not altogether bad. But I could have done other things. I could have said, well, I suppose other teachers with equally qualified experience might say something else. I could have said that, some might say a right-wing conspiracy would be more apropos. That would keep people ignorant, not know what's going on, unable to vote because they only spoke their native language. But I didn't say any of those things. Why did it bother me so much? I told her to shut up. It's because I've been hearing too much about conspiracy theories, and I'm just a little fed up. And maybe you are too. And maybe you've come to blows with other family members and friends, or people you thought were friends, about this subject. If Americans, and the British in particular, had been a little more inclined to compromise, which is kind of the basis of democracy, we might have gone the way of Canada and Australia. We didn't. If we'd been more inclined towards compromise, we might have avoided a civil war. And if we were more inclined to compromise, we might not have had the McCarthy period, if any of you remember that, where there was a red under every rock and there was a conspiracy behind every tree. I think this is a highly undesirable period. It is not the best of democracy when democracy requires compromise. I thought it was one of the most interesting things about Iranians when I first met one. We talked about the curse words and the ugliest words in languages. And the ugliest word in Iran is compromiser. And I thought, you know, there's weirder things about these people and the fact that they think yogurt with cucumbers is a dessert. There's something seriously wrong, and I doubt if they'll ever have a democracy in Iran if they think that compromise is a dirty word. So, why was it important to me, and what can I learn from my conversation with my sister? I think that we always have to try and find the middle ground. That we have to do it with our families, that we have to do it with our friends, and that we have to keep reminding everybody that compromise is what built our nation.
Martin Bland, he